Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and this is a special day for me personally. This gentleman is one of the top educators in San Diego County, has been for his career. Full disclosure, he was the principal at my daughter's middle school, Mesa Verde Middle School, and that's Greg Mizel, Associate Superintendent for Student Support Services at the Poway Unified School District. Always a good day when we see you, Greg.
Great to be with you.
You've been so supportive of so many things that we've done, Classroom of the Future Foundation, everything in between, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. And I got to tell you, Kristen, Greg was part of our Soup Tank program where superintendents, as many of our listeners know, do a 3 to 5 minute pitch in front of a group of business folks. And I did a great job. It was last October at USD, and people are still talking about your presentation, including the county superintendent as well. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's a happy Friday. It's Valentine's Day.
I know, yeah.
There's love in the air.
And listen, we're really appreciative of what you've done. Anyone who's spent any time with Greg knows it is about the students' first, second, third, fourth to 1500th. Not that it's ignoring his wonderful colleagues or the teachers, but it's always been about the students. And I can't think of a better person than you to work with our colleague, Superintendent Ben Churchill, who's now at Poway Unified. Ben, as you know, is on our Classroom of the Future Foundation board. But Greg, you guys are an unbelievable team. You're passionate, you're empathetic, you're smart, you're bright, you're innovative, and I'm forgetting 45 other adjectives.
Well, also, it's such a large district, too. I had no idea you had so many schools. I was looking and I was like, oh my gosh, how does Poway have that many students in that many schools? That's amazing.
Yeah, we've been a growing district for decades. It's only now that we're starting to experience flat enrollment.
Right.
Maybe even declining, but yeah, big.
Wow.
Well, and I think, and the reason why I'm so excited to have, Greg, he talked about this when he was on our Future Pathways Superintendents Unplugged interview. We talked about Herman's, Way project. We're going to talk about that in a few seconds. But I think as my daughter, as Greg knows, is a fourth grade teacher at Chaparral Elementary School, doing a great job, if I can brag about her a little bit. You should stop by and say hi to Sammy. I think you've met her before, of course, and I think she would love to see you down there. But we're in some tumultuous times, to say the least, what's going on in the schools. And it just makes me and Jane, Sammy's mom, feel so good that the district is run by guys like you, Greg, and Ben, not to try to patronize you, but we need you guys in this time, in this aspect of it. So how are things going?
So the work is fundamentally the same,
Correct.
right? Our work
That's
we're in the relationship business.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what we're called to do, right? To make connections, to help our students connect with one another and to ensure that they're connected to an adult, and ideally more than one, right? So, the difference between a good school and a great school? It's one friend. Like really, truly, right?
100%.
So the thing that breaks my heart is we have campuses with lonely kids walking around, right? And they're kind of around people and near energy, but they're not really, they're not the ones generating it, right? So they're near where the energy is, but they're kind of, even though close, excluded from it. And with social media, you have this false sense of, I have, 1,000 followers, I'm kind of a big deal, but then on a Friday at school, you're kind of sitting by yourself or with a group that you don't know well, they don't know you well, they're not that interested in your story. Like, that's real, the loneliness and that sense of belonging, right? Our kids are hungry for it, they long for it, and it's our job to be the connectors to ensure that every kid has a place and every kid has a group, right? Like, that's the goal.
Yeah, I just read The Anxious Generation, and I was like, whew, do we have some work to do? So talk about some of these, programs that you have that emphasize that sense of belonging and eradicating isolation.
So I've always been a builder of culture. It's all about the tone you set from the top and throughout, right? And there's a million ways to do it. There's not like a way.
Yeah. Which is great, which makes that feel good,
It's achievable.
Yes,
right?
It's a hard problem, but there are lots of different ways. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
We try to create a thing called home court advantage. That's what I've come to call it. A home court advantage exists when you feel a sense of safety, support, and belonging.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to school should feel like coming home. Right? Like when I walk on this campus, there are people who know my story, who are interested in me, who see my potential, who are encouraging me. When I walk on this campus, I have people that I'm connected with and content I'm interested in learning and experiences that, are helping me discover and explore interests and talents. And that's what school is about when we do it at the highest and best level.
And is that measurable? How do you kind of define success? What's sort of your metrics there?
We talk to our kids. Yeah. And I've all my career done the ad hoc where I'll grab 5 or 6 kids randomly and I got pizza. Come join me in the conference room. I want to talk to you about your experience on our campus. We pull students in who are inter-district transfers. We pull, different groups, different grade levels. Right now in the Poway Unified School District, we push out a survey to every 4th grader, every 6th grader, and every 9th grader, and we do it twice a year.
Wow.
The survey is a mental health screener, but a big component of it is measuring our students' sense of belonging. And what we've seen in the time that we've used this instrument is we have a problem, right?
Yeah.
And an opportunity. We were in the 0 to 19th percentile nationwide when we first pushed this screener out on that metric, sense of belonging. Our kids were telling us, I'm not feeling connected.
Wow.
We started using it just after the pandemic.
Right. Well, and I think, what's so important about that is that it's not like we're going to touch you one and now I'll see you in a year.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. You guys are just doing it every single day, reaching out to the kids. When we were interviewing Greg on our Future Pathway Superintendents Unplugged, he talked about this cool project called Herman's Way Project that Charles and I have been thinking about ever since.
I want to hear about it.
Oh, it's amazing. So fire away, Greg.
So an example, right, of a bright light. Mickey Herman was a math teacher who was terminally ill at the time I met him. Kind of a hippie from Ashbury.
Ashbury, sure.
Yeah. From that era, he was listening to Janis Joplin. Like that's what he piped out of his room. His kids entered in. But he was a kid magnet. And he had this line, he wrote it on a board. If you're my student, you're my student for life.
Nice.
So, and the kids believed it, right? He was there at break. He was there at lunch. He is sick. Remember that, right?
Right.
10 years he'd been fighting this awful disease. And at the time I arrive, he's at the end. But he won't leave, right? Like he is going to do this to the very, very end. And the kids are the beneficiaries of it. And so when he passed, we hosted his memorial service at our school in the gym. And the line of students waiting to talk who had been impacted and who were nervous and uncomfortable up front, but brave in that moment, it was 50, 60 people long, right? Like we couldn't stop it. Like it went for an hour and a half, maybe. Of course, we played Leonard Skinner. There was no preacher. There was no... it was awesome. It was an awesome way to remember him. Then we named the fire lane Herman's Way. And then shortly after that, we were just all feeling like the loss. And so how can we really honor the legacy of this guy who we were all inspired and encouraged by? And we came up with this Herman's Way project, which was, what did Mick do best? He connected with kids.
Yeah.
And so how do we encourage that across the campus? So we encourage all of our staff, classified and certificated, hey, we know there are kids on this campus who desperately need to be connected. Are you willing to learn a child's story? Are you willing to commit to checking in with the child daily, weekly? Are you willing to maybe invite a kid in at lunch to hang out with, bring them and their friends in? And so we did a draft. We created a list of our most vulnerable students, and then we let our staff I want that one. I want that one.
Wow.
And we created a movement. Really, Mick did it. I mean, we had the energy and the moment, right? And then we created the template, and away it went. Herman's Way.
And it's still going on at Mesa Verde?
They don't call it the Herman's Way Project
Right.
anymore, but yes,
Right.
there's still an intentionality
Right.
in that connecting with students and each and every student.
Right. Didn't you introduce that to Del Norte?
I did. Yeah.
And see, what I think is so great about the story, Kristen, so here is obviously this unbelievable educator, and so really it takes leaders like, Greg. Greg's going to go, what are you talking about? Anyone would have done this. I don't know if that's true or not, that we're going to shine a light on this. And so they do it at the school, right? And then they continue it after, he has passed away. And now we're doing it at, Del Norte. And that's what it takes, Greg, not to patronize you, but it takes that next step. You easily could have said, this is great. It was wonderful. We got Herman's Way, Lane and all that. Now let's move on to something else. That's not, because it's all about belonging and so forth. We're chatting with Greg Mizel. He's the Associate Superintendent of Student Support Services for Poway Unified School District. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, it's literacy, it's visual performing arts. They do it all. Joined by my colleague and co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. Kristen?
Yeah, I would love to see the Herman's Way Project at every school. I think that's phenomenal. I'm also drawn to this Start with Hello, and it says Sandy Hook Promise. So is this an initiative that was driven by I don't know what I'm saying. Just talk to me about it.
Yeah, well, you had a great question earlier. You asked, number one, how do you ensure kids are being connected connecting with one another and connected to an adult? And then you asked, how do you measure it?
Yeah.
Right? Those are great questions. So there's lots of ways to do that. The Herman's Way Project encourages the adults to be intentional in their interactions with kids who aren't connected. And it doesn't, you draft 1 or 2 kids and you just make, hey, I'm going to meet this kid. I'm going to show an interest in this kid. I'm going to learn their story. I'm going to be their fan, their cheerleader, their advocate, like that.
So Start with Hello seems like it's a student-led initiative.
Start with Hello is a peer-to-peer.
Got it.
And it's from the Sandy Hook Promise. We implemented it at Del Norte. We were one of the first schools to kind of engage with Sandy Hook. And we also have the See Something, Say Something, lots of different protocols that come from that group. But the Start with Hello is just this idea of, hey, we're going to, at Hello, August, September, be intentional, all of us as students, to notice one another, to show interest in each other, to learn one another's stories. Like that's how you do it. The Great Kindness Challenge is another way, right? Like we just did that a few weeks ago at a number of our schools where students committed in 1 week to commit to do 50 acts of kindness. Right?
Yep.
Like that's the stuff. Like it's fun. It's a little competitive. Everyone's on. Like it's not hard.
Yeah, and it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It makes a ton of difference. And if we come back from break, we're going to talk more about that. And then whatever Greg wants our listeners to do and follow, we're going to make sure that they're aware of this. But it just reminds me, just a simple act of kindness. We've all experienced this. When we're in the car, we're stressed out, we're trying to get into a lane, and someone lets you in, okay? Or you let somebody in, and they wave to you. That little 1 second of, my goodness, I let this guy in, and it sounds like so small. Imagine doing that 50 times in that aspect of it. So when we come back from break, we'll chat more with Greg Mizel, Associate Superintendent of Student Support Services for the Poway Unified School District. I'm Drew Schlosberg, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of the Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We've been doing this now for 19 years, longest running community podcast in the nation, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for folks in San Diego County. Honored to have in the studio with us today Greg Mizel, Associate Superintendent of Student Support Services for the Poway Unified School District, and joined by my co-host Kristen Fogel, the Executive Director of San Diego Writers Inc. Kristen?
Yeah. So what other sort of programs or initiatives are you really kind of fired up about right now?
Well, so that it doesn't always have to be a program, but a good one is Unified Sports that we just started. So sometimes you encourage adults to make connections in new and different ways. Sometimes you create conduits for kids to connect with one another. That's really the work, the systems work, right?
Yeah.
And so this Play Unified Sports, it's a partnership we just entered into with Special Olympics. And here's what's really cool about it. We offer these PE classes now at 2 of our high schools. We're going to be scaling it because it's been wildly successful. We're going to hopefully have this at all of our high schools and at our middle schools as well. But it's a PE program that pairs students with disabilities with students without disabilities. And within that PE program, they compete together. So you create these teams mixed of boys and girls, mixed with athletes that have disabilities and athletes that don't.
Yeah.
And so far it's been soccer. Basketball is coming up. Like there's sports in season that we play with these groups. We have hosted schools from San Diego Unified that have this program implemented. So now it's cross district. At our inaugural event at Poway High, we had ASB, we had the tunnel, we had the percussions team. It wasn't like a pep rally, right? We had hundreds of people in the stands. The kids competing were all lit up, all smiles. Where do boys and girls compete on the same team together? It's the most inclusive, incredible, wonderful thing you've ever seen. And when the teams are fairly evenly kind of created, they're competitive. It's fun. It's entertaining to watch. The kids are it's great.
Now, does that fall under your division?
Under special, under special education.
Special ed's under student. Yeah, exactly. Is there someone running Unified Sports, or is it just...
So it's a partnership with Special Olympics. We went up and saw it in Murrieta, a district to the north of us that really had this popping, and we were so inspired. We need to do this in Poway.
So let me ask you this, because I'm going to ask you to come back on the show when you have time with your 24-hour day job. Can you bring somebody in that is participating in this?
Oh, 100%. I could do that. Yeah.
Let's make sure we're going to get you on that. We just love to have the folks in. As you know, you got to meet Catherine Breen. She's the founder of Stay Social Now and heavily involved in neurodiverse students and all that business. We really can't talk about it enough. Kristen's so passionate about education. Her son, how old is Declan now? 6?
He's 6, yeah.
He's 6, great. And La Mesa Spring Valley, what district is he in?
He's in a private school right now, but we'll see.
Okay, yeah. But regardless, your passion, private school
absolutely.
Or not.
Yeah, I'm all education, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I love so much about all these programs too is, we're not siloing kids. You're bringing everybody to the table, which, as a writer, as a storyteller, that's exactly what we need to meet the moment right now. We need people to talk to each other. We need people to engage. And so I love all of this.
Well, and when you allude to the moment, right, there's layers to it.
Yeah.
It's a moving target. It's dynamic. There's always going to be some subset of our population that's vulnerable and feeling vulnerable, right? That's just the landscape.
Right.
And it's our work as educators to build a culture that's responsive, where we convey love and care and concern and interest. That's the part and the power of learning one another's stories. That's the part and the power of I got you.
Yeah.
we're elbow to elbow and back to back on this campus. Like whether we're Nighthawks or Titans or Broncos, it doesn't really, Eagles at Mesa Verde.
Right.
Like what's your rally cry? But you have to have those on a campus. And for some of our students, that's the safest place, right? That they occupy over the course of their day, right? Yeah. Is on our campus and in those classrooms. And for others, it's an extension of lots of safe places that they, kind of roll through. But that sense of community, having people that, you know what I mean, are with you, and that's our students who are thriving, our students who are the healthiest and the highest achieving are often those students that benefit from, right? That connectedness. And our students who I worry the most about are the kids in a crowd, all around the people and the energy, and they're lonely. They're isolated, right? They're quiet, or maybe they're laughing, but they're not really feeling, right? Like that they're a part of it. They're near it, but not a part of it. They're on the outside. So that's where our students need to be. I play a sport. Okay, you're not athletic. Do you tell jokes? Because we've got this great improv thing over here. Perform in a theater production. There's so many entry points for. Maybe it's backstage. Maybe it's with costumes. Maybe you're an actor or a singer. Or, maybe you do Rubik's Cubes, or you play chess, or maybe you're passionate about your Jewish heritage, or your Muslim heritage, or your Christianity, or like we have clubs on our high school campuses that represent young Democrats, young Republicans. Like we have the world, a microcosm of our whole society on our campuses. And believe it or not, no wars.
Yeah, and that is just so important, and it's the connectivity. And you hit something that is so true. This is probably going to shock Kristen.
I can't be shocked, but let's try.
Yeah, maybe it won't shock you. So I played sports in high school. Loved it for 75 different reasons, but I was really shy when it came to speaking up in class. I didn't say a peep. Until my dad convinced me to take a speech class in community college, and then the world opened up. So now I've only been doing this podcast for 19 years, and I speak at events and all that business. But to your point, there's always something for somebody, okay? And now it's, obviously they can't shut me up in many ways. It's the speaking, but wasn't there before. But there's always something somebody has, but it takes a person like a Greg, or his team, or fill in the blank, everybody else that's going to reach out and do that hello.
Start with set the tone, set the tone, welcoming.
100%. What can our listeners do to support the great work that you personally are doing at Student Services for Poway or in general? What can they do, whether they're in the district or not?
Here's what start by encouraging your children to go to school intentional. Who can you connect with? Who can you lift today? Who can you encourage? You don't have to be everybody's friend, but you can be friendly to everybody, right? So if we don't so what we say as parents is, I want you to get straight A's. I want you to hit a home run. Like we're really good about setting, right? Like these metrics that make us look good as parents, because, having kids today is a sport, right? And every parent is competing with every other parent.
Right.
But how about what if we set a different bar? What if the bar was, hey, today I want you to be a blessing. I want you to be an encouragement. Be situationally aware. And how about this? Be more sensitive and less sensitive. Meaning, be more sensitive toward the needs of others and less sensitive on your side. Like less easily offended. Like, man, we're easily offended in this world.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
You're a culture of outrage right now. Yeah.
So more sensitive, less sensitive, intentional. A word can tear a person down. A word can lift a person up. A word can make a person see themselves in an ugly, unflattering, life-changing way in a vulnerable moment when they're still developing that sense of self. A word well-timed can also help somebody see, wow, I never saw that in myself. And that's really, I'm excited. Yeah. Like I didn't know I was fill in the blank, right?
Well, you're 100% correct. And like Kristen said, those do work. They do make a difference. They're easy to do. It doesn't cost you any money to do these things. Yep. It's when all of us to do it. And when you do it, you're going to feel better about it. We all know that. You feel better when you do something. It might be as simple as holding open a door for someone, or someone saying thank you, which has seemed to have gone out of the way of our lexicon and so forth. Greg Mizel, it's always a pleasure seeing you. It's been many, many many years. Let's see, Sammy started there, and obviously sixth grade, so she was probably 11 years old, I guess. Sammy just 30 now. Okay,
yeah, you're not making me feel old.
You look exactly
We're talking
the
about
same.
Sammy. We're not talking about you. Educators' timelines are different, so
Greg looks exactly the same. I'll just tell you that right now, for God's sake. He may not feel it inside sometime. Please come back sooner than later with somebody from the Unified Sports.
Yeah,
among other things. And be thinking about, because we want to have you on as a periodical guest. We can't talk about this stuff enough, as you know. Think about other things you'd like to bring in as well.
Sure. Okay, I want to just piggyback on one thing you said.
Please.
What should people, how do we want them to respond to this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let somebody cut in line. Create some space. Let somebody merge on the freeway.
Yes.
Like that. Just simple stuff. Like, instead of being upset about all the world, culture is a result of what we allow and what we don't allow.
Yep.
Right. So, every one of us makes a difference.
That is absolutely great knowledge, and it is so true. We'll look forward to having you back on. Greg, wishing you nothing but continued great success. Please give a high five to Ben for me.
Absolutely.
When you get back to the office, I got to bring him. He's coming back on the Future Pathway Superintendent's Unplugged show. Matter of fact, we just sent out your. I hope you got the link from your show.
I did. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Poway's good. We just got better with this Ben pickup. Let me tell you.
You guys, we're already at the A+, now A++. Okay, and I think that's all good stuff. Greg Mizel, Associate Superintendent for Student Support Services of the Poway Unified School District. I'm Drew Schlosberg. Thanks for listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We're the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things for San Diego residents. Kristen Fogel, as always, appreciate you being the co-host, and I hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.